In this video, we are going to focus on back-to-back stem and leaf plots. Back-to-back stem and leaf plots can be used to compare two sets of data. The stem is drawn in the middle with the leaves on either side. So let's take a look at this example I have here for you. First of all, you would normally have a title, which we do. Because of the room situation on this board, I've placed the title on the left-hand side, so it's scores from the last 30 football games. And you can see I've put an arrow to indicate where it should be sitting, which is on top of the data display. So we have a stem down the middle. We have two leaves labelled accordingly. These are the winning scores, these are the losing scores. The data is sitting in here, and we also have a key at the bottom of the page. Let's look at this and read it. So we have the middle section here is the tens and the hundreds. So we've got 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. The losing scores here, all numbers start low and go high, so they are in ascending order. If we read this being the lowest score here, it's 74, 75, 78, 78, 79, and we continue as we would normally do. Once we get to the 10, it's 103, 109. If you look at our key down here, the key says 10/9 equals 109, which is our example here. And as we go through, our highest score is 130. So these are the losing scores. The winning scores are on the left-hand side, and pretty much you flip it over this way. So the lowest numbers sit next to the stem and they move out and get higher. So we have 81, 95, 97. You can see that the 5 being closer to the stem is lower than the 7 out here, which is 97. 101, 104, 104, 108, 110, 115, 119. So just like this one, smaller near the stem and gets bigger as it goes out, same thing, smaller at the stem and bigger as it goes out. Let's take a look at this question. It says a shop owner has 2 jeans shops. The daily sales in each shop over a 16-day period are monitored and recorded as follows. You can see we have shop A and shop B, and there are 16 numbers in each set of data because it's a 16-day period. The numbers have been placed in ascending order from smallest to biggest, which you can see here. Shop A's lowest sales day was 3 pairs of jeans sold, and their highest was 28. Shop B's lowest sales day of jeans sold was 4, and their highest was 27. I need to take into account the lowest and highest numbers when I place this data onto the back-to-back stem and leaf plot. I'm going to do that now, and the first thing I'm going to do is come up with a title. I'm going to simply say jeans sales, and you can create whatever title you wish as long as it's appropriate to the topic and the data being displayed. We'll label the stem, which is in the middle, and I'm going to label the leaves shop A and shop B. Alright, let's take a look at this now. Our smallest number is 3, which is in our ones. We then have 4, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, and 9. That tells me that my stem has to start at 0. My highest number is 28, so I've got a 10 and a 20. So this stem must reflect the numbers. If you don't start by getting the stem correct, by looking at the smallest and biggest numbers, you're going to run into trouble. Let's now place shop A onto the leaves. So we're starting over here. Now what you need to understand is that numbers on back-to-back stem and leaf plots run in ascending order from the stem. So they're smaller in the stem and they get bigger as they go out. So ascending from smallest to biggest, which means when I place the data of shop A on here, my small numbers are on the inside, and as I go further out they get bigger. You also have to remember that we have to think about an invisible grid. Your numbers need to be evenly spaced and lined up so we can later on look for trends in the data. So let's start here with 3. So we put a 3 here, cross it out as we go. Now we've got no more in this category, it'll only go down to the tens. So we can move on there. So we can put a 2 for 12, another 2 for 12, a 3 for 13, a 4 for 14, a 4 for 14, a 5 for 15, and a 5 for 15. So I'm running out of room there a bit. It's not perfectly spaced, but hopefully it'll come out all right in the end. Now we're going to the 20s. We move down the next line. 21, 22, 24, 24, 24, 26, 27, and 28. It's running out of room here. So I've tried to keep things lined up as neatly as possible, but it doesn't help when you're running out of room here. So make sure when you're doing it in your book that you try and keep it neat and tidy, keep everything lined up and evenly spaced as best you can. Let's now place the data of the shop B in. So we've got quite a few in the ones section here. So we'll start with 4, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, and 9. Yeah, definitely running out of room here. So make sure you do the right thing in your book and space things accordingly. Now we're going to the 10s. So we've got a 0 for 10, 12, 13, 14, 14, 16, and 17. And last but not least, 27. So again, try and keep things lined up. Pretend there's an invisible grid that you can see and have them as evenly spaced as possible, because it's so important to do that when you are reading the data trends. And the last thing we have to do here is create a key at the bottom. And we need to pick a number from this data and display it at the bottom so we can read it correctly. It just basically shows someone who hasn't seen this how to read it properly. So I'm going to pick the number 13. 1 and 3 is 13. So we go 1/3, and this slash is the separation from the stem and the leaves, and it equals 13. So if I read this 1 and 3, it equals 13. All right, so now that's been done, I'm just going to read through a little bit about the information that I can see from these jeans sales. So shop A has the highest number of sales, and we established that to begin with. We know there's 28 here. Oops, I didn't cross that one out. There's 28. Its sales are generally between 12 and 28, with one very low sale of 3. And you could say that 3 is the outlier. It's randomly there on its own, and it could potentially throw the data if you're looking for the mean or median. It is negatively skewed data as it starts low and then goes high. So it starts low and then goes high. We're looking at shop B on the right-hand side. Its sales are generally between 4 and 17. This number 27 here is one high sale day. That's an outlier. That can throw, again, the data when you're looking for the mean and median. It has a lower number of sales compared to shop A. So shop A did better than shop B. And the data shows it's positively skewed as it starts off high and then it goes low. So I would have to say that shop A is more successful, and then you can see that there are more numbers in the 20s here compared to shop B, and there's less numbers in the ones compared to shop B.